Welcome to my series on past IEB music papers that I'm doing. In this video, I'll be looking at paper 1 from 2023. The first thing you need to do when you get your music paper is obviously add your examination number, and then please take the time to read these questions. Make sure that you have a complete music paper, that your resource booklet is complete, and that you have all the correct MP3s on your listening device. You don't want to lose out on precious marks because of some sort of error or technical difficulty with your paper. So please do take the time to do that. It's also essential to have a look at your mark allocation. Look where the big marks are and make sure you're not leaving out huge chunks of this paper or leaving them to the last minute. So make sure that you pace yourself according to the mark allocation of the paper. So let's jump straight into question 1.1. Here you're asked to listen to track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, and track 5. You'll notice that throughout this paper, the examiner is also given the duration of each track. If you notice some sort of discrepancy between what's written in the paper and what you see on your listening device, please make your invigilator aware of that. Technology is an incredible thing that makes our lives better in a lot of ways, but it also has a tendency to mess things up sometime. So there have been instances in the past where tracks have become mixed up. So please make sure that you are listening to the right track for the right question. If you've got any doubt in your mind, just alert an invigilator. So question 1.1 asks us to match each term below to the track in which it is heard. Use each term only once. So I'm going to say this a million times throughout this video or this video series, but please read your questions properly. Okay, you'll see use each term only once. Make sure that you do that. The way I would approach this question is to listen to each track and then, without filling in the table, rather just mark off which term could apply to the track, and then only once I've listened to all the tracks would I start tackling this table. So let's give it a try in this way. So let's listen to track 1. Here you can hear that this track is obviously in triple meter, so I'll write a little 1 there. I also heard a gradual crescendo happening throughout the track, and I heard some lovely sequences in the track. If we listen to track 2, Track 2 is obviously in a minor key and being played by a string quartet, and there are also some lovely syncopated rhythms in that. Let's listen to track 3 now.
compañera ideal, la novia.
La que me inspira el amor que yo siento, ella es la dueña de mis pensamientos.
Ella es mi gloria, la compañera ideal, la novia.
La que me inspira el amor que yo siento, ella es la dueña de mis pensamientos. Mi negrita, tú ya lo sabes.
Track 3 is also in a minor key, and again we've got some syncopation in it, and there's some lovely piano comping happening in the background or in the accompaniment figure. Let's listen to track 4.
Your carter does the best he can when he's out on the road. Your pack horse is an honest beast and totes a heavy load. But when it rains and all the lanes are axle deep in clay, your boatman laughs and waves goodbye and carries upon his way. Come all you men of trade, tell all your merchant pals, be not afraid, your fortune's made, we're crazy for canals.
This is obviously sung by a baritone voice, and is in duple time. And then finally, let's listen to track 5. Hearing a beautiful crescendo throughout this piece, and also some lovely imitation taking place. So now that we've listened to each of these tracks, we can see that in some instances a term will apply to one track only. So for example, B sequence only refers to track 1, so I can write a B under track 1. And I'm going to just look at these ones first. If I've got more than 2 numbers next to a particular term, I'll leave that to last. So C, imitation, that refers to track 5. So I'm going to write a C under track 5. And you'll notice that I'm crossing out the letters as I go, because remember, use each term only once. Okay, you don't want to throw away marks because you accidentally use a term twice. Let's skip over D now because it could apply to 2 different tracks. If we go to E, we see that it applies to track 4, so we can write an E under track 4, and we can write an F under track 4. We can write the G for string quartet under track 2. Let's skip over H for now and go straight on to I. Our triple meter is track number 1, and J, piano comping, goes under track 3. All we're left with now are A, D, and H. If we look at H, that gradual crescendo could be heard in track 1 or in track 5, but under track 1 I've already got 2 terms, so I'm not going to be able to use H under track 1. I'll have to place it under track 5. If we look at A and D, here both of these are in a minor key and both of them contain syncopated rhythms. If we look back at the tracks though, we'll see that track 3 had a far greater sense of syncopation than track 2 did. So track 3 gets D and track 2 gets A. And there we've got a completed table. So you'll see that I've done quite a bit of rough work before I even began tackling this table, and I approached this question in quite a structured and methodical way. I'd really recommend doing that. Cross out answers as you go. Think logically. Even though you can hear a crescendo in track 1, there are other things that can only be heard in track 1, so you need to use those, B and I under track 1 and not H. You can put that somewhere else. So please use this approach when you get a question like this. I'm going to end this video here and carry on with the rest of question 1 in my next video.